Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of Above It All. And this is a story I saw circulating about a dad with a leaf blower being arrested on Tuesday at the Portland protests. And like most, if not all arrests, it was for no reason. So, I'm just going to read to you this entire story. A man who attended Monday's Portland protest as part of the PDX Dad Pod was arrested by federal officers early Tuesday morning. He said officers took him to the ground after they tried to take away his leaf blower. Zach Duffley, a 44-year-old Portland attorney, attended the protests for the first time Monday. He said he went to express his opposition of police treatment of black people and of federal officers' treatment of protesters in downtown Portland. He arrived before 9 p.m. and met up with the groups of dads who organized to protest and support the Wall of Moms. Many dads wore orange, hard hats, and some brought leaf blowers, which can be used to disperse tear gas. They marched and listened to speakers. Duffley sent text updates to his wife throughout the night. "Just kind of marching around," he texted around 11:30. "Very mellow." His wife sent a text a bit later telling him to let her know if there is an emergency. And that was it for the next 14 hours, Duffley said. Around 12:30 a.m. Tuesday, officers used tear gas on the crowd. Duffley said he didn't hear any warning, but started backing up and leaving amid flashbangs. There was an officer nearby who was telling people to get out of the street. Duffley said he didn't feel threatened by the officer at that time. One of the agents in camo, holding a baton, came for Duffley's side and charged him, he said. Duffley believes he was targeted because he brought a leaf blower. Duffley said the agent tried to grab his leaf blower, which was strapped to his body. Since he didn't have time to unstrap, he said he was taken to the ground and his glasses were broken as the two officers arrested him. Now let me pause here for a minute. Where's due process? Where's innocent until proven guilty? Where's the crime? Right? Like, is blowing, like, hot air at a fence a crime? Like, what? Where are the Law and Order kids right now in the comment section? Probably in the next, 6 hours. They're gonna go look, but where was the crime? I don't see a crime here. Have you read about any crime being committed? Bringing a leaf blower to a public event is a crime now? Is standing in the middle of the street during a public event a crime? What is the crime here? I don't know. The Department of Homeland Security and Department of Justice did not immediately respond to requests for comment on Duffley's arrest. After being arrested, he said an officer led him into the Mark O. Hatfield Federal Courthouse. He said he could still feel his skin burning from the tear gas and was unable to see well without his glasses. Now again, the officers broke his glasses. Are they going to pay for them to get them fixed? The only crime I see are two jackbooted thugs charging into someone, breaking their personal property, and kidnapping them. That's what I see. If you don't see that, chances are it's because your head is up your ass. As he waited to go into the holding area, he said he saw Jennifer Christiansen, a mom who was arrested at the protest, and they spoke for a moment. He said he complimented Christiansen on her rainbow skirt. Useless detail, but fun. As he was processed by officers, he said he did not have time to understand what had just happened and what was going on at each particular moment. He said the night entailed a lot of waiting with no information. He said when he asked various questions, like when he could have a phone call, he was told that a different agency was in charge of that. Again, these people don't know anything. They don't care about anything. They just want to bounce it off and send it to the next person. They don't care. They arrested you. They got their fun. They got their excitement. This is the boring stuff. This is the paperwork. That's for nerds. They don't care about that shit. There was a lot of interagency buck passing, he said. Also, legitimate logistical hiccups. Duffley said the confusion seemed partly because of coronavirus rules and restrictions, but also because of out-of-town agents being unfamiliar with processes and the buildings. He said he was read his Miranda rights before officers tried to conduct an interview with him. Duffley said he chose not to answer questions. He tried to calm down and get comfortable on the metal bench in the holding cell, but got very little sleep that night. He was transported around 7 a.m. Tuesday to the Justice Center. He said while there, he was placed with other detainees who didn't have masks on in a very confined space. Again, I've been mentioning this for probably ever since the uprising started in May, that this is one of their strategies, is they steal your personal property, your mask, right? They break whatever they can, and then they throw you in a cell with people that may or may not have coronavirus. That's the strategy. They're trying to get these people killed. Otherwise, why wouldn't they just give them masks? Why wouldn't they? Right? They're so easy and cheap to produce, especially just basic medical ones. N95s are relatively more expensive, but you don't need those all the time, right? Instead of having proper spacing and distancing with well-circulated rooms, maybe even outside, they just stuff people in air-conditioned areas, circulating coronavirus all over, giving them no personal protection. This is genocide, or at least attempted genocide, in my opinion. He said he had earlier been sent to a nurse who made sure he wasn't hurt and asked about coronavirus symptoms. He was told he had an arraignment around 11 a.m. and waited for that to come. But at that point, he said he still didn't know what he was being charged with. I wonder if he got arrested for resisting arrest. The classic. After asking continually throughout the whole time, he finally got to call his wife. She'd already guessed he had been arrested. After waking up around 3 a.m. and seeing he wasn't home yet, she called a hotline to figure out what happened. His arraignment happened around 3:30 p.m. Tuesday. He was charged with federal disorderly conduct. Yes, having a leaf blower on you at a public event is disorderly conduct because facts and logic. Law and order. He has a trial date set for the misdemeanor charge. He also has a curfew and cannot be within 5 blocks of the courthouse. In the days following, he said he can still feel and smell the tear gas. But the greatest amount of stress right now, he said, is that he was doxxed, meaning his personal information, including home address, was posted on Twitter. He has received a threat since that happened and has installed security cameras at his home. He said his experience was terrifying, but believes that that was the intent. I think federal agents are here to terrorize the city and to chill our free speech and our rights to assembly, he said. This is what I've been saying. The police are terrorists. They are inflicting violence for political purposes. That is the definition of terrorism. They're destroying this man's property, his glasses, he can't see without them, stealing his protective equipment so that he is stuffed in a cell without a mask on. Now, yeah, sure, you could probably just do this, right, with your shirt, but, like, that's extremely uncomfortable, right? That's the thing, is it's all about maximizing the damage to human life and to minimize damage to rich people's property. That is what I've been saying this whole time. This is what they are here for. They are a terrorist organization. The federal government of the United States of America is a terrorist organization. The police are terrorists. And of course, the federal agents doing all this crap are also terrorists. That is the point. To terrorize you. To make you afraid of them. But with enough people, with enough strength and numbers, that terror will not succeed. Thank you for watching, everybody. If you're going to go to a protest, you need to make sure that you are safe. One thing I recommend doing is having Sharpie on your arm for a lawyer contact, or at least an emergency contact. That is something you can do if you have all of your personal property stolen. And I would also probably pack extra masks, maybe in your pockets or maybe in your underwear, something like that, so that if they do a search, you at least have something in these situations. I know it's a little ridiculous, but you have to make sure that you're able to be healthy. Also, again, federal law, like, what law? Disorderly conduct? What? Again, all of these words don't mean anything. They're vague on purpose. That is part of the strategy. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one.